I'm 73 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. Everything you've been taught about life, about success, about what matters, it's all wrong. And the people who taught you this, your parents, your teachers, the voices in your head telling you to work harder, push further, sacrifice more. They either lied to you, or they never figured it out themselves. I know what you're thinking. Here's another old person trying to tell me how to live. But hear me out. Because what I'm about to share isn't wisdom I gained from reading books or attending seminars. It came from something far more brutal. It came from almost dying. At 52 years old, I had what doctors politely call a cardiac event. That's medical speak for my heart decided it was done with me. I was sitting in a conference room, discussing third-quarter projections, pretending the numbers on that screen mattered, when the room started tilting. The fluorescent lights began spinning, and then nothing. I woke up in a hospital bed with tubes snaking out of my arms, machines beeping around me, and my wife sitting in the corner with tears streaming down her face. The doctor walked in with that practiced calm they teach in medical school and told me I was lucky. Lucky I had just stared into the void. Felt my own heart betray me, and he called it luck. But you know what? He was right. Because lying in that sterile room with nothing but time and the sound of my own heartbeat on a monitor, I realized something that shook me to my core. I hadn't been living. Not really. I had been performing. Going through the motions. Playing a part in a play I never auditioned for. 52 years of my life, and I couldn't point to a single day where I had truly been present. Where I had done something because I wanted to, not because I thought I should. Where I had chosen joy over obligation, presence over productivity, being over doing. If you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, if you've ever wondered if there's more to life than this, hit that like button. This video is for you. Let me tell you the biggest lie you're probably believing right now. The one that's stealing your life while you watch. The lie is this: I have time. I'll do it later. When things calm down. When I make more money. When I get that promotion. When the kids are older. When I retire. Then I'll finally live the way I want to live. That moment never comes. Want to know why? Because the finish line keeps moving. You think if you just get that promotion, then you'll relax. But you get the promotion, and suddenly you need the next one. You think if you just make 6 figures, then you'll be happy. But you make 6 figures, and suddenly you need 7. The goalposts move every single time you get close. I watch people in their 20s and 30s, and I see them making the same mistakes I made. They're sprinting towards some imaginary finish line, telling themselves that happiness is waiting on the other side. Just a little more. Just a little longer. Just this one more thing. And then they're 40, then 50, then 60. And they're still chasing, still waiting, still putting off the life they actually want to live for the life they think they're supposed to live. I did this. I spent 30 years climbing a corporate ladder, rung by painful rung, sacrifice after sacrifice. And you want to know the truth? When I finally got to the top, when I finally made partner, when I finally had the corner office and the title and the respect, I looked around and realized something devastating. The ladder was leaning against the wrong building the entire time. All those late nights at the office. I was missing my daughter's soccer games. All those weekends working. I was missing my son learning to ride a bike. All those important meetings. I was missing my life. And you can't get that back. You can't climb back down and start over. Time doesn't give refunds. Here's something nobody tells you when you're young and hungry and full of ambition. Success is a trap. I know how that sounds. It sounds like something a failure would say to make themselves feel better. But I'm telling you this as someone who got everything he wanted. Partner at the firm. Check. Six-figure salary. Check. House in the right neighborhood. Check. Respect from my peers. Check. And you know what all of that gave me? About 48 hours of satisfaction each time I achieved something. 2 days of feeling like I made it. And then the feeling evaporated like steam. I was right back where I started. Needing more, chasing more, never satisfied, never enough. It's a hamster wheel disguised as a ladder. You think you're climbing up, but you're just running in place while your life passes by. I had a friend, Mark. Brilliant guy. Built a multi-million-dollar business from nothing. Worked 70, 80-hour weeks for 40 years. Always said he'd slow down next year. Next year turned into next year turned into next year. He died at 68. Massive stroke, gone. At his funeral, his adult son stood at the podium and said something that still haunts me. He said, "My father was a successful man. He built an empire. But I barely knew him. The church was packed with business associates and clients. His own son barely knew him." Is that success? Is that what we're all killing ourselves for? If this is hitting close to home, if you're starting to question what you're chasing, drop a comment below. Tell me what success means to you. And subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you next might change everything. Your biggest regrets won't be the mistakes you made. They'll be the things you didn't do. The risks you didn't take. The words you didn't say. The experiences you postponed until it was too late. I don't lie awake at night thinking about the business deal that fell through in 1997. I don't replay failed presentations or lost accounts. Those things don't matter. They never really mattered. You want to know what keeps me up at night? The trip to Japan I never took because there was always a meeting I couldn't miss. The weekend fishing trips my brother invited me on that I declined because I had work to catch up on. Our relationship deteriorated over the years, and I let it happen because I was too busy, too tired, too focused on things that don't matter anymore. The book I always wanted to write but never started because I was waiting for the right time. The right inspiration, the right circumstances. The time I did unspend with my kids when they were young because I was building a career they'd be proud of. Except what they wanted wasn't pride. They wanted their dad. These are the things that haunt you. The roads not taken. The love not expressed. The moments not seized. The people you loved who slipped away while you were distracted by things that seemed important at the time. The people you love. Let me tell you something about them. Your parents, if they're still alive, you think you have unlimited time with them. You don't. Every day they're getting older, frailer, closer to the end. One day, probably sooner than you think, they won't be here anymore. And you'll wish you had called more, visited more, said, "I love you" more. My father died when I was 45. We had what people call a complicated relationship. He was tough, distant, hard to please, and I was always too busy to really work through it with him. I kept thinking we'd have time later, when work slowed down, when I was less stressed, when he was older and maybe softer. We'd finally have that conversation, that breakthrough, that understanding. He died of a heart attack on a Tuesday afternoon. Gone in hours, and I never got to have that conversation. You know what my biggest regret is? It's not the big, dramatic things. It's the small ones. All the Sundays I didn't call him. All the times he invited me over for dinner and I said I was too tired. All the times I chose work over him. There's no reconciliation now. No overs, no second chances. Just regret and the weight of all those missed moments. If you have parents who are still alive, pause this video right now, pull out your phone, send them a message, tell them you love them. And if this resonates with you, if you're feeling that weight, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. After my heart attack, everything changed. Not immediately. The first few weeks, I was just trying to recover physically. But as the months passed and I got stronger, something shifted inside me. I looked at my life, really looked at it, and I didn't recognize it anymore. Or maybe I recognized it for the first time. All those things I thought mattered. The title, the office, the respect, the achievements. They suddenly felt hollow, empty, like I had been playing with toy money in a game that never mattered. So I made changes, big ones. I stepped back from the firm, cut my hours in half, started saying no to things that didn't matter, started saying yes to things I had been putting off for decades. And you know what happened? The world didn't end. The firm didn't collapse. My identity didn't evaporate. If anything, I became more of who I actually was and less of who I thought I should be. These last 21 years have taught me more about life than the previous 52 ever did. And what I've learned is almost embarrassingly simple. What matters is time with people you love. Work that feels meaningful to you, not work that looks impressive to others. Experiencing things, not owning things. Creating memories, not acquiring possessions. Being present, not being productive. I know it sounds simple. When I was your age, I would have dismissed this as naive idealism. Sure, but I have bills to pay. I have responsibilities. I have a mortgage, and car payments, and student loans, and a career to build. And yes, you do. I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow and live in a van. I'm telling you something different. Don't sacrifice what actually matters for what doesn't. Don't trade your relationships for your career. Don't trade your health for your ambition. Don't trade your presence for your productivity, because, here's the thing, nobody tells you. You can't negotiate with time. It doesn't care about your plans, or your excuses, or your intentions. It just keeps moving. And one day you wake up and you're 73 years old and you can't get any of it back. If this message is landing, if you're starting to see your life differently, hit that subscribe button, because I have more truths to share, and not much time left to share them. And like this video, if you want to see more content like this, let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly. If you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the life you've lived so far? Not would other people be impressed. Not did you achieve enough on paper. Just you, alone with yourself, would you be satisfied? If you hesitated even for a second, if the answer isn't an immediate yes, then what are you waiting for? What are you doing with your days that are so important you're willing to gamble your one precious life on it? I'm 73 years old. I've had 21 extra years since my heart tried to quit on me. 21 years I wasn't supposed to have, in a way. And every single morning when I wake up, I'm aware that I'm on borrowed time. We all are, really. Every single one of us. But most people, especially young people, they don't feel this. They think they're invincible. They think they have forever. You don't. None of us do. I have 3 grandchildren. Beautiful kids. Smart, funny, full of potential. And when I look at them, when I watch them navigate their lives, I see the same patterns I see in most people their age. They're stressed out of their minds, anxious about everything, chasing things that will never make them happy, making the exact same mistakes I made. And I try to tell them. I try to share what I've learned. I try to warn them about the traps I fell into. But you know what? They don't really listen. Not because they're bad kids, or because they don't love me. They don't listen because they can't. Not yet. When you're in your 20s or 30s, you're living in a storm. Everything feels urgent and critical and unique to you. You can't see the patterns yet because you're too close to them. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you want. Nobody is going to give you permission. Nobody is going to tell you it's okay to prioritize what matters to you. You have to give yourself that permission. You have to be brave enough to disappoint people's expectations of you. Start calling your parents more often. I don't care if the relationship is complicated. I don't care if it's uncomfortable. They won't be here forever, and when they're gone, you won't regret the calls you made. You'll regret the ones you didn't. Start taking the trips you dream about. Not someday. Not when you have more money, or more time off, or when it's more convenient. Those conditions will never align perfectly. Go now while you can, while the people you want to go with are still here. Start doing the things that scare you. That thing you always wanted to try but you're afraid you fail at or look foolish doing. Do it anyway. Regret from trying and failing is nothing compared to the regret of never trying at all. You're allowed to choose where you invest your limited hours on this earth. Start saying yes to experiences that fulfill you. That hobby you've been thinking about. That class you want to take. And most importantly, start now. Not next month, not next year. Because I promise you, the perfect time will never come. But if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll be waiting your entire life.